The sky above the planet Varela was full of stars, but one of them was falling. It was not a star, but a small human starship. It was badly damaged, black smoke trailing behind it. Inside the ship, Corporal Jace Wilder, a human soldier, was struggling to stay alive. Sparks flew around him as the ship shook. Red lights blinked on every screen. "Hold together, girl," Jace whispered to his ship, his hand on the control panel. Just a little longer. The ship hit the planet's atmosphere. Fire streaked across the sky. Trees bent as the craft roared over the jungle. Finally, it crashed hard into the soft ground, sliding through the trees and smashing into rocks. Then, silence. Jace slowly opened his eyes. He was alive, bruised, bleeding, and trapped in enemy territory, but alive. Jace crawled out of the wrecked ship. His body ached, but his training kept him moving. He looked around. The jungle was full of strange, glowing plants and tall blue trees. Purple vines hung low. He checked his scanner. No signals. His comm was dead. He was completely alone. His ship was in terrible shape. The engine was melted, the power core unstable, and one of the wings was missing. He knew he couldn't call for help. No one knew he had survived the space battle. He had to fix the ship or he would die here. For the next 2 days, Jace worked non-stop. He gathered parts from the forest, strong metals, strange stones, anything he could use. He fixed wires, patched holes, and reconnected broken systems. But it wasn't enough. He needed high-energy materials to repair the power core. And Varela was not a dead world. Something was watching him. On the third morning, as Jace searched the jungle, he stepped into a hidden trap. A bright net of energy sprang up, wrapping around him. He struggled, but it was too late. Voices came from the trees. Tall figures in glowing silver armor walked out. Their skin was a soft teal blue, and their eyes sparkled like crystals. They pointed weapons at him and spoke in a strange language. Jace raised his hands. "Easy! I'm not here to fight." The soldiers didn't respond. They moved quickly and carefully. Jace was pulled from the net, chained, and brought through the jungle. After hours of walking, they reached a city unlike any Jace had ever seen. The city was built from crystal and stone, rising high like mountains. Floating lights hovered in the air, and glowing vines crawled along smooth walls. Music echoed softly in the wind. The people stared at Jace as he was marched through the streets. He was taken into a grand hall made of shining glass. At the center sat a throne made from a giant pink crystal, and on that throne sat Princess Thalara, the daughter of Varela's ruler. She looked young, yet wise. Her long teal hair flowed like water, and her eyes studied Jace with curiosity, not fear. "This is the human who crashed in the sacred forest?" she asked her guards. "Yes, Princess," one replied. "We found him near the old river path." Jace stood tall. "My name is Corporal Jace Wilder of the Earth Defense Forces. My ship was damaged in battle. I didn't mean to enter your territory." "Princess." Thalara tilted her head. "You speak our language. Impressive. Most humans avoid Varela." "I didn't have a choice," Jace said. "I just need time to fix my ship. I'll leave as soon as it flies." She stared at him for a moment. Then she smiled. A small, calm smile. "You may stay, but only for 7 sun cycles. That is all. The time you are allowed. After that, you must leave or face the exile lands." Jace nodded. "Fair enough. But," she added, "you will not be left alone. I will be watching." The next day, Jace was allowed to return to his ship under guard. He started working again. The guard stood nearby, silent and still. But late that day, Princess Thalara herself arrived. She walked quietly, her long robe flowing behind her. "You're really fixing this wreck?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. Jace wiped sweat from his brow. "Trying. It's all I've got." She stepped closer and looked at the open engine parts. Human machines are ugly. Maybe, he said, smiling. But they get the job done. She chuckled softly. Why were you fighting in space? Who were your enemies? Raiders, Jace replied. Pirates. They attacked a colony ship. We fought them off, but they hit my engines before I could jump away. Thalara nodded slowly. So, you risked your life for others? Jace didn't answer right away. It's my job. But yeah, I guess I did. She looked at him again, longer this time. Then she turned and walked away. Each day after that, Princess Thalara returned. Sometimes she asked about Earth. Sometimes she brought him small gifts, tools, food, energy samples. They talked more, and she started to laugh around him. Jace was surprised. This was an alien princess, but she was also kind, smart, and lonely. She had been raised inside palace walls, trained for duty, not freedom. Talking to Jace made her feel different, alive. And Jace, though focused on repairs, found himself looking forward to her visits. He began to see her not just as an alien, but as someone special. But all was not peaceful. From the shadows, the royal advisor, a strict elder named Varneth, watched the growing bond between the human and the princess. He didn't trust humans. He believed Earth's people were violent, selfish, and dangerous. He warned the council. This soldier should be sent away at once, he said. His presence is a risk to our world and to our princess. But Thalara refused. He has done nothing wrong. He just wants to go home. Let him finish his work. Varneth narrowed his eyes. And if he doesn't leave when the time comes, what will you choose, princess? Thalara had no answer. Back at the crash site, Jace sat on a broken crate, staring at the stars. The engine was nearly fixed, but the power core, he knew it wouldn't hold. He needed something stronger. Something only the Virulons had. As he thought, he heard soft footsteps. Thalara sat beside him. You miss your world? She asked. Yeah, he said. But this place, it's beautiful too. She looked up at the sky. Sometimes I wonder, what's out there? Beyond our stars. You ever think of leaving? He asked. She was quiet for a long time. Then she whispered, only every day. Their eyes met, and in that quiet moment, something between them changed. Something real. Something neither of them expected. The jungle outside the ship was quiet. Birds with glowing wings flew between the tall blue trees. Strange insects hummed in the air. The sounds of Varela were soft but alive. Inside the broken ship, Corporal Jace Wilder worked hard. He sat on the floor, tools in his hand, wires spread out around him. His face was sweaty, and grease covered his shirt. The engine was almost fixed. Jace had used every trick he knew, wiring old parts together, replacing broken panels with alien metal, and reprogramming the system with half-dead circuits, but the ship still wouldn't fly. The main problem was the power core. It was cracked, unstable, and losing energy fast. He had maybe 3 days before it shut down for good. I need something better, he muttered, or this ship's never leaving the ground. A soft voice spoke from behind. Still struggling, soldier? Jace turned. Princess Thalara stood at the door of the ship, her hands behind her back. She was smiling. You keep showing up, Jace said, half teasing. She stepped inside carefully. I'm curious. I've never seen a human starship this close before. Jace moved aside so she could look. Well, don't get too excited. She's falling apart. Thalara walked around slowly. Her fingers brushed against the smooth walls and exposed circuits. It's rough, she said honestly. Our ships use crystal lines and soft energy circuits. Yours is all wires and metal. Jace laughed. Yeah, it's ugly. But it works. Most of the time. She tilted her head. Why do you do it? Why fight? Why live in ships that crash and burn? Jace looked at her. Because someone has to. We protect colonies. We stop pirates. We fight so others can live in peace. Thalara nodded. You sound like one of our guardian scribes. Guess soldiers are the same everywhere, he said. They both smiled. Over the next 2 days, Thalara visited more often. Sometimes she brought fruits from her garden. Sometimes she brought simple energy tools to help him. She explained how Virellan power worked, showing him glowing stones and small energy rods. This is an energy pearl, she said one afternoon, holding up a soft blue orb. It lasts many cycles. Too small for a ship, but useful for small tools. Jace stared at it. What powers it? The crystal heart, she said. He blinked. The what? She led him outside and pointed at a tall tower near the palace. At the top, a giant glowing crystal pulsed like a heartbeat. That, she said. The crystal heart. It powers the city. All energy comes from it. It's sacred, Jace whistled. If I had even a piece of that, I could fly this ship halfway across the galaxy. Thalara looked at him. You would leave that fast? Jace paused. I mean, it's my job. I belong out there. She didn't say anything, but her smile faded. That night, Thalara sat alone on her garden balcony. The moonlight touched her face. Her eyes were full of thoughts. She liked talking to Jace. He was not like the royal lords or boring council members. He was honest, brave, strange, but kind. He made her laugh. He listened. And when he looked at her, she didn't feel like just a princess. She felt like a person. But he would leave, and she would stay behind. Unless, the next morning, Thalara returned with a secret gift, a long silver crystal tube wrapped in cloth. What's that? Jace asked. She unwrapped it slowly. Inside was a crystal energy coil, very rare, very powerful. This is used in our air floaters, she said. It holds energy from the crystal heart. Jace's eyes widened. This could stabilize my core, maybe even power the whole ship. She handed it to him. Use it. He hesitated. Won't you get in trouble? I'm a princess, she said simply. I'm allowed to give gifts. Jace took the crystal coil with both hands. Thank you, Thalara. Their fingers touched. She looked into his eyes. For a moment, the jungle, the ship, and the sky faded away, but that moment didn't last. Back in the palace, Advisor Varneth paced in anger. He had seen Thalara giving the human the energy coil. This is too far, he said to the council. She is breaking royal law, an old counselor frowned. She believes the human is no threat. Varneth slammed his hand on the table. He is a soldier. He is dangerous. If he takes our energy and returns to his people, what will happen? They will learn our secrets. They may come here next time with warships. We have no proof of that, another replied. I have enough, Varneth said coldly. I will speak to the king. The next day, Jace worked harder than ever. With the crystal coil, he repaired the power system. The engines came back to life with a soft hum. Lights flickered on. The ship spoke its first words in days. Core online. Systems stable. Jace grinned. Yes! Thalara was there. She clapped, her hands laughing. You did it, she said. Couldn't have done it without you, Jace said. They stood side by side looking at the ship. I can leave tomorrow, Jace said. Thalara smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Tomorrow? He looked at her. I'll miss this place. I'll miss you. She looked away. Then, stay. Jace was silent. I know, she said softly. You have duty, but I've never met anyone like you. He stepped closer. You're not like anyone I've ever met either. They stood close. So close. But before anything more could happen, a voice shouted from the trees. By order of the king, the human must be removed at once. A team of guards marched toward the ship. Advisor Varneth stood at the front, holding a royal scroll. Princess Thalara has broken royal trust, he declared. She gave sacred tech to an outsider. The human must leave by nightfall. If he refuses, he will be exiled to the storm cliffs. Jace stepped forward. I don't want trouble. I'll leave. Thalara's eyes filled with tears. No, this is wrong. But Varneth was firm. It is law. Jace looked at Thalara. Don't fight them, I'll go. She reached out and took his hand. Jace, I'll never forget you, he said quietly. Not ever. He turned back to his ship. That evening the ship sat ready. The engines hummed. The lights glowed. Jace sat in the cockpit. His heart felt heavy. Outside, Princess Thalara stood in the shadows, watching. The ship lifted slowly into the air, rising above the trees. But before it flew off, a soft voice came over the comm system. Soldier? It was her. I still want to see the stars, she said. Then the signal ended. Jace stared ahead, his hands shaking. Somewhere deep in his heart, a new thought began to grow. Maybe this wasn't the end. Maybe it was just the beginning. The jungle trees swayed in the wind as Corporal Jace Wilder's ship hovered above the ground. The engines purred softly, powered by the crystal coil Princess Thalara had given him. Virella's soft blue moonlight lit the scene. But inside the cockpit, Jace wasn't smiling. He had done it. The ship was working. He could leave now. Escape before the royal guards came back, but his heart wasn't ready. His hand hovered over the launch control. Then he pulled it back. The ship lowered to the ground again with a quiet hum. No, he said aloud. Not yet. Back in the palace, Princess Thalara walked along the crystal hallway. Her eyes were sad, her heart heavy. She had watched Jace fly away, or so she thought. She paused at the tall window, staring out at the jungle. I should have told him, she whispered. I wanted him to stay. Behind her, Advisor Varneth appeared. You did the right thing, Princess, he said. He's gone. The law is safe. Our secrets are protected. Thalara didn't answer. She felt no joy. Suddenly, a soft wind blew through the hall. Lights flickered. A loud, familiar hum filled the air. Varneth frowned. What is that? Thalara's heart jumped. Outside the palace, the silver human ship gently touched down in the royal garden. Guards rushed out with weapons. The council shouted in panic. But Jace stepped out slowly, hands up, no weapon in sight. I'm not here to fight, he said. I just need to talk to the princess. Thalara walked out, pushing past the guards. You came back? She asked. Jace nodded. I couldn't leave, not without saying something. He stepped closer. Thalara, you gave me your trust, your help. You risked everything for me. I can't forget that. She looked into his eyes. I thought I'd never see you again. I was halfway gone, he said, but my heart stayed here. The crowd watched in silence. Advisor Varneth stepped forward. This is against royal order, he snapped. You are trespassing. Jace looked at him calmly. I just want to say something. Then I'll go. Varneth hesitated, then stepped back. 1 minute. Jace turned to Thalara again. I want to ask you something, a big thing, maybe impossible. Thalara whispered. What is it? Jace breathed in. Come with me. Thalara gasped. The crowd behind her murmured in shock. Come with you, she said. Leave this place, Jace said. Fly away, see the stars, see my world. No more palace walls. Just freedom. Just us. Thalara looked at the sky, then back at him. Jace, I want to. But my people, my father, my duties, Jace nodded. I know. That's why it's your choice. She closed her eyes. All her life she had followed rules. She had done what was expected, smile, bow, obey. But since meeting Jace, something inside her had changed. She wanted more, a life of her own choosing. She opened her eyes. Give me time. One day, meet me here at sunrise. Jace smiled. I'll wait. That night, Thalara sat with her father, the High King of Virella. He was old, wise, and quiet. He listened as she told him everything. About Jace, about the ship, about the offer. When she finished, the king was silent for a long time. At last he spoke. Long ago, he said, your mother wished to leave this world too. She dreamed of flying among the stars. But she stayed. For me. For you. For duty. Thalara whispered. And was she happy? The king looked at the stars through the window. She loved us. But she was never truly free. He turned to his daughter. If your heart belongs out there, then go. Tears filled her eyes. You mean it? He nodded. Virella must have a leader who follows truth, not fear. You have my blessing. Before dawn, Jace stood by his ship. He looked up at the sky, waiting. He didn't know what she would choose. He didn't expect anything, but he hoped. Then soft footsteps came through the grass. Thalara appeared, wearing simple travel clothes and a glowing necklace of her people. I'm ready, she said. Jace smiled. You're sure? She nodded. My heart made this choice. A long time ago. He took her hand, and they walked toward the ship together. But as they reached the ramp, a sharp sound cracked through the air. Boom! A warning shot blasted the ground beside them. The ship shook. Birds flew into the air. Raiders. From the sky, 3 enemy ships dropped through the clouds. They were the same pirates who had attacked Jace before. They had followed his signal. They're here, Jace said. They want the crystal tech. He pulled Thalara behind the ship. The palace guards rushed out, forming lines. Alarms rang through the city. Explosions lit the sky. Can your ship fly now? Thalara shouted. Yes, Jace said. But they'll shoot us down before we leave the atmosphere. She looked at the city. Then we fight. Jace ran to the ship's control panel. He activated the outer defense grid. Small energy turrets popped out of the sides. Thalara rushed to the guards and took command. Defend the heart chamber, she shouted. They want our power. The battle began. The raiders landed hard, firing plasma cannons and throwing smoke bombs. Their armor was black, their eyes cold. They pushed through the city walls, trying to reach the crystal tower. Jace fought from his ship, using the auto turrets and small pulse bombs. Thalara used a glowing energy spear, fighting with royal grace. Side by side, they defended the people. After an hour of fighting, Jace saw one of the raider ships powering up a huge cannon. They're aiming at the heart, he shouted. If that crystal is destroyed, the city dies, Thalara said. Jace didn't wait. He jumped back into his ship, activated the engines, and flew straight toward the enemy cannon. What are you doing? She called. I have to stop. Them! The ship roared through the sky, dodging blasts. Jace aimed straight at the cannon. He released a detached engine pod full of unstable fuel and shot it right into the enemy weapon. A boom! A huge fireball lit the air. The cannon exploded. The raiders began to retreat. The people of Virella cheered. The city was safe. Later, the palace stood quiet again. Fires were out. The wounded were treated. The crystal tower still glowed. Thalara stood beside Jace near the ship. You saved us again, she said. You saved me first, he said. She smiled. I told you I was ready. Then let's not wait anymore, Jace said. They stepped onto the ship. The ramp closed behind them. The engines powered up, blue light glowing beneath them. Guards, workers, and even the king gathered outside the palace. They waved as the ship lifted off. Thalara pressed her hand to the glass. "Goodbye, Varela," she said. "Thank you." The ship rose into the sky, broke through the clouds, and disappeared into the stars. A new journey had begun. Together. Stars filled the black sky as the human ship moved silently through space. Inside, Corporal Jace Wilder sat in the pilot seat, his hands on the controls. Beside him sat Princess Thalara, now dressed in a simple travel suit. Her royal clothes were gone, but her glow remained. It had been 3 days since they left Virella. Jace had fixed most of the ship using Virellan energy tech. The systems were stronger now, faster, more stable. It wasn't a warship, but it could travel. "How far until the nearest neutral station?" Thalara asked, looking at the star map. "Maybe 5 hours," Jace replied. "Once we refuel there, I'll plot a safe course toward Earth. I want you to meet the people I trust." She smiled softly. "And I want to see how humans live." For a moment, everything felt peaceful, but space is never quiet for long. Just before they reached the station, the ship's warning lights turned red. Incoming signal. Hostile ship detected. Jace's heart jumped. He leaned forward and scanned. The radar. A fast, dark ship was closing in behind them. "No," he said. "Not again." Thalara looked at the screen. "Is it a pirate ship?" Jace nodded. "The same raiders. Somehow they followed us again." "How is that possible?" she asked. Jace frowned. "They must have planted a tracker during the last fight on Virella." Thalara stood up. "Can we outrun them?" "Not this time. They're faster now. We have to fight." The pirate ship fired first. Red plasma blasts shot across space, hitting Jace's ship. Shields sparked. The cockpit shook. Jace quickly rolled the ship to the side, dodging the next blast. "Hold on!" Thalara grabbed the side rail as the ship dipped and twisted through the stars. She looked at the control screen and noticed something blinking. "Jace, the rear port has a malfunction." He checked the system. "It's the energy coil you gave me. It's overheating." "If it explodes," she began. "We lose the whole ship," he finished grimly. They had to land. Now, Jace scanned for a nearby planet. "There's a small moon ahead. No cities, just rocks and caves." "Better than exploding in space," Thalara said. Jace nodded. He turned the ship and pushed full speed toward the moon. The pirate ship stayed close, still, firing. As they entered the moon's atmosphere, the sky turned dark orange. Dust covered the air. The ship shook hard as it landed. Rocks and sand flew everywhere. They had made it, but just barely. The ship landed between high cliffs, hidden from view. Jace shut down the systems to hide their signal. "We have maybe 1 hour before they find us," he said. "We'll be ready," Thalara replied. They got to work. Jace pulled out his old rifle. He checked the energy levels. Thalara gathered Virellan defense spheres from the ship's storage. Each one glowed with soft blue light. "These can create energy walls for a short time," she said. Jace nodded. "Good, we'll need them." They set traps along the canyon paths. Motion alarms, auto turrets, defensive shields. This wasn't a battlefield. It was survival. Soon, a loud sound echoed in the sky. The raider ship had arrived. It landed on a nearby ridge. Dozens of armored raiders jumped out, armed and ready. Their leader, a tall alien with black armor and red eyes, stepped forward. "Human!" he shouted. "Give us the crystal tech, or we take it from your cold hands." Jace stood at the edge of the canyon. "You want it? Come get it." The battle began. Blaster fire filled the air. Rocks exploded. Shields lit up as shots hit them. Jace moved quickly, firing from cover. Thalara stayed near the ship, activating energy shields and setting off traps. The raiders tried to rush in, but the traps slowed them down. One by one, they were pushed back. But there were too many. "They're surrounding us," Thalara called. Jace was breathing hard. His leg had been hit. "We need an escape plan." Thalara pointed to the high cliff. "If we get there, we can launch the ship without them targeting us." Jace looked up. "Let's move!" Together, they ran up the rocky path, dodging blasts. Thalara helped Jace when he stumbled. They reached the cliff and looked down. The ship was ready, but the raider leader stood between them and the launch ramp. "You lose, human," he hissed. "Give up." Jace raised his rifle, but it was empty. Thalara stepped forward. Her eyes glowed with soft energy. She pulled out a crystal from her necklace. "This is what you want?" she said. "Then come take it!" The raider rushed at her. At the last second, she threw the crystal into the air. Jace shot it mid-air. Boom! A flash of blue light exploded. The shockwave threw the raider back. He hit the rocks hard and didn't. "Move again!" Jace and Thalara rushed to the ship. They jumped into the cockpit. Jace hit the launch button. The ship lifted fast, rising above the cliffs. A few remaining raiders tried to follow, but it was too late. The ship soared into the sky. They had escaped again. Hours later, the ship floated in quiet space. Jace sat with his leg bandaged. Thalara was beside him. "You saved my life," Jace said. "We saved each other," she replied. He looked at her. "Still want to come with me? Even after all this?" Thalara smiled. "Especially after this." They both laughed softly. Then a new signal blinked on the screen. It was the neutral station, safe space. Jace leaned back. "Let's land. Eat something real and rest." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "And then?" He smiled. "Then we go to Earth." As the ship flew toward the station, Jace looked at Thalara. She had left her. Home, fought beside him, and risked everything. She was no longer just a princess. She was his partner, and soon the stars would see them both, together. The stars slowly shifted in the black sky as the human ship approached the neutral space station. It was a huge, round structure floating near a glowing blue planet. Ships of many kinds moved in and out. Some small, some large, some shaped like strange animals. Inside the cockpit, Corporal Jace Wilder looked tired but hopeful. Beside him sat Princess Thalara, calm and thoughtful. "We made it," Jace said with a smile. Thalara nodded. "It's beautiful. So many different ships, so many lives crossing paths." The computer blinked. "Landing approved. Docking Bay 3. Jace guided the ship gently into the hangar. The landing gear touched the metal floor. The engines powered down. For the first time in many days, they felt safe. The hangar was bright and busy. Aliens of all shapes walked around. Some had fur, some had shells, others glowed like jellyfish. But no one looked twice at the human soldier or the alien princess. This place was a free zone. No kings, no councils, no laws except one: peace. Jace and Thalara stepped out of the ship. "I've never seen so many species in one place," Thalara said, her eyes wide. "That's why I brought you here," Jace replied. "This station is the gateway. From here we can go anywhere. Earth, colonies, even deep space." Thalara smiled. "Then let's begin." They walked into the station's main plaza. Holographic signs floated in the air. Food stalls sold glowing fruits and sizzling meat. Traders shouted deals. Kids ran past carrying robot toys. Jace stopped at a small repair shop. "Wait here," he said. "I know someone." The shop door opened with a beep. Inside, a woman with silver goggles looked up from a pile of wires. "Well, well," she said. "If it isn't Jace Wilder, I thought you were dead." "Nice to see you too, Rena," Jace said. She stepped forward and gave him a hard hug. "What happened to your leg?" "Got shot," he said. More than once. She pointed at the door. And who's that glowing goddess you brought with you? Jace smiled. That's Princess Thalara. She saved my life, twice. Rena raised an eyebrow. A real alien princess? You're full of surprises. Rena gave them food and a place to rest. She also checked Jace's ship and began making upgrades. As they ate in a small lounge, Thalara looked out the wide window at space. Your world, she said, is bigger than I imagined. Jace nodded. And yours changed mine forever. She turned to him. Jace, do you ever wish you stayed away? That you never landed on Varela? He looked at her, serious. If I hadn't crashed there, I never would have met you. So no, I don't regret a thing. She smiled and took his hand. The next day, news arrived. A galactic assembly ship had entered the system. These ships belonged to a powerful group of alien nations. They kept peace, handled diplomacy, and watched everything. Their message was simple. We request a meeting with the human and the Virulon traveler. Urgent matter. Jace frowned. How did they find us? Rena shrugged. Word travels fast in space. Royal tech, pirate attacks, a human soldier flying with a Virelan princess. Yeah, you're big news. Thalara stood calmly. Let's meet them. I have nothing to hide. Inside the meeting hall, a round table floated in the air. Holograms of different alien leaders appeared around it. One of them, a tall being with a transparent head, spoke. Princess Thalara, Corporal Wilder, we have heard of your journey, the battle on Varela, the pirate chase, and now your arrival here. Jace stepped forward. We just want peace. She left Varela of her own will. Another alien, shaped like a large insect, clicked its claws. You brought royal tech into neutral space. Dangerous. Thalara replied calmly. The crystal coil I gave Jace is no longer functioning. It saved his life. I do not regret it. A third voice spoke, this time softer. We do not wish to judge love, but war follows your path. What are your plans now? Jace looked at Thalara. She stood tall. We wish to explore, learn, share. I am no longer just a princess. I am a traveler, and I will walk beside him. The table was silent. Then slowly, the leaders nodded. Very well, but you must stay away from all conflict. No more battles, no more war. If danger comes again, you must report it. Jace nodded. Agreed. After the meeting, they walked back through the station. You were amazing, Jace said. I was. Nervous, Thalara admitted. But I'm not afraid anymore. What now? He asked. She looked at the stars through the window. We build something new. Weeks passed. Together, Jace and Thalara began to travel from system to system. They visited small human colonies, alien trade worlds, and peaceful research stations. Everywhere they went, they helped others, solving small disputes, fixing broken systems, and stopping small pirate groups from causing trouble. People began to call them the Soldier and the Star Princess. They weren't warriors anymore. They were protectors. One day, as they sat on a quiet green moon, watching the twin suns rise, Thalara leaned on Jace's shoulder. I thought I had everything back on Varela, she said. A palace, a future, a crown. But I never felt alive. Jace nodded. I used to think I was just a soldier, fix the ship, follow orders, survive. But then you showed me I could be more. She looked into his eyes. Where do we go next? Jace smiled. Anywhere. Everywhere. They kissed as the suns bathed. The moon in golden light. Their journey had started with fire and fear. But now it burned with hope. Together, they would write their own story.